What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod, and I'm a full-time eBay and PoshMark seller. And in today's video, I want to share 20 items that sold so far in the month of December on eBay. I usually do part 1 and part 2, so stay tuned for that, as I usually put that out at the end of the month. But if you guys are interested in these kind of videos, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos. And without further ado, let's just get right into it. Alright, y'all, so starting things off is this pair of Salomon hiking shoes. And I always pick up Salomon hiking shoes anytime I find them. Sometimes when I pick them up, they might be a little rough in terms of condition. Sometimes it might be a little dusty, a little dirty. But I make sure I always pick them up still, and if I can, I'll just clean them up, because these always sell well. And these actually sold for 45 bucks. And yeah, I was just happy that I was able to sell them in about 2 or 3 days, and I believe I paid maybe 6 or 7 bucks for these shoes. Next up is this Nevica ski jacket, and I've had this jacket for at least 8 months. It took a very long time to sell, but it finally sold for $50, and as soon as I got the offer, I accepted it immediately. And thankfully it shipped to the West Coast, so I made maybe a couple dollars on shipping. But overall, I'm just glad to see this gone, because like I said, I had this for a very long time. Next is this Vineyard Vines performance jacket, and this is my first time selling a Vineyard Vines jacket. I sold a bunch of shirts, of course, but I didn't even know they made jackets. First, I had this listed at $59 plus shipping, and I got a bunch of offers around like 35 and some offers for 40 bucks. But and I had a lot of watches. I had about 15 watches on here, and then I realized, of course, if you have that amount of watches and that much views on a piece, most of the time something's wrong. So I made sure I double checked with the comps, and I lowered the price to $49.99. But once I lowered it, I took off best offers. So as soon as I did that, it ended up selling within about 2 days. So it ended up selling for $49 plus shipping, and I was just a good sale overall. Next up, what is this? The Apple Macintosh Pro mouse. I actually got this at a yard sale, and the person kind of just threw it in for free. So anytime I basically threw this in the video just to show you guys that a lot of my stuff, my average sale price is somewhere around like 40 bucks or like $42, something like that. But I do sell things that are very inexpensive, especially if I can get some really good profit. So after shipping and fees, I made about like $7 on this, because like I said, it was free. So this was definitely a good sale for me, and I'll take $7 or $8 all day long. Next is this vintage Levis Shirt jacket. And this was super dope. This was actually in my size, but I don't need any jackets like this in Southern California at all. Very clean. It had a very little stain on the sleeve, and I got that off with a Tide stain pen. So if you guys didn't see my video on the 10 things that I think every reseller needs to just streamline their business and make their business more effective, I'll throw that video in the description and in the cards. But that Tide stain pen definitely helped get that stain out of the sleeve. And this one sold in about 4 or 5 days, and I picked it up for $8. Next is this pair of Red Wing shoes, and these sold for $89.99, and it only took a day for these to sell. I may have priced it a little too low now that I think about it, but I mean, it's all good. I only paid about $6 for these, so I'm definitely not going to complain about that. As you guys can see on the bottom here, the price tag was on the bottom, so I just used some rubbing alcohol to get that price off of there. But other than that, these sold very fast and for a lot of good profit, so I was definitely happy about this sale. Next up, I got 2 pair of shorts. Like I tell you guys all the time, it's winter time, but I'm still selling shorts, especially Patagonia and Cool. And these shorts, I wasn't accepting any offers, so of course they sold for 25 bucks. And of course I threw in the cost of shipping on there just to help me sell them a little faster. So I was happy about that one. And then the next one is a pair of Cool shorts that I sold for 30 bucks. And these sold within 2 or 3 days. These ended up selling, and I picked both shorts up for $4 each. So this was definitely a good sale for me. So if you guys see any cool or Patagonia shorts, still pick them up, still put them up on eBay and on PoshMark, because they are definitely still selling around this time. Next up is this Masters Tech pullover coat, windbreaker I should say, but this was in really good condition. I don't even remember exactly how much I paid for this, either $5 or $6 from a thrift store that I hardly ever go to. But this one was in really good condition. The reason why I don't go to that thrift store is because they tend to get a lot of junk. But you know, after some digging, I found this jacket. So size XXL is, I think, what really helped it sell for this amount of money. I was accepting offers, but I was getting a bunch of lowball offers and it pissed me off. So I took offers off, and then I ended up, you know, selling it for full price. So I was just happy that it sold for $70 plus shipping. Next up is this Breitling Book Bag. These are still on eBay right now, and some people have them priced for like $100. Some people have them priced for like $200. It's kind of crazy what people have these listed for. But when you check the actual sold listings, these are selling for like $70, sometimes $80, and I ended up selling mine for $80. So I was definitely happy about that. I put this in a big poly bag to ship it out, because I know if I had put this in a box, it would have weighed a lot more. So I ended up putting it in a poly bag, and I wrapped it in bubble wrap just to ensure its safety. And it already got to the buyer. They were happy about that. So yeah, $80. I think I paid $4 or $5 for this book bag. In my thrift, they clearly didn't know what Breitling was. They probably just thought it was a, you know, regular cheap book bag. But this was definitely a good pickup for me. Next is this La Sportiva hiking boot for women. And these were actually in pretty rough shape, as you guys can see from the photos. But this is a very good brand, so I still picked it up. I tried to clean it a little bit, but I mean, they are hiking boots, so they are meant to get dirty. So the buyer really didn't care about the overall condition. I think the thread is what they were mainly concerned about. And as you can see from the bottom, they weren't worn that much. They probably were just worn a few times and then just got damaged during a hiking trail or something like that. But overall, sold these for $40 plus shipping. And it was just a very good sale because it didn't take long to sell, and I didn't pay too much for these boots at all. Next is this Sony Microcassette recorder, and these like recorders, these are still very popular. You would think most people would just use their cell phone to record their voices, but I'm pretty sure, you know, journalists and beat writers and stuff like that, they still use these things so that they can have the physical tape. So if you see any of these, definitely check the comps, look them up on eBay to see how much they're selling for. Panasonic sells some really good ones, and Sony makes some really good ones. So this one sold for $40, and it took a very long time to sell. This one, I had this for maybe 5 months, but you know, I only paid $2, so turning 2 into 40 over a few months, I'm not gonna complain because it didn't take up a lot of space in my storage. And of course, a pair of Hoka 1-1s. I sell these at least 5 or 6 pairs each month. I only picked up a few pairs this month, so I sold about 3 or 4, and I'm actually waiting on a return on one of them because they didn't fit. So that kind of sucked a little bit, but it's all good. That's just the normal part of business. But these sold for full asking price of $69.99. Now let me double check really quick. These actually sold for $55.99. Yeah, so I took a little money off the top, but you know, if this was the summertime, these would have sold for $69.99. But you know, it's not in season right now, so I took a best offer of $55. And yeah, Hoka 1-1s. If you see them, pick them up, especially if they're in really good condition. Next is these pair of Fry Melissa Button riding boots, and these were pretty rough when I picked them up, but I put some black shoe polish on there just to kind of buff it up a little bit, make it more presentable, and that actually worked. These ended up selling for $50, so I was happy about that. Overall condition was, you know, like I said, pretty rough, but with the black shoe polish, kind of you know, rejuvenated it a little bit. Here's a close-up of it. As you can see, you know, just around here there was some scuffs and some scratches, but like I said, the black shoe polish really helped these out a lot, because I should have posted a before picture, because beforehand these was terrible. But it ended up selling for a decent price, so I'm not complaining. Next is these Gymshark leggings, and I don't usually find Gymshark in my thrift stores, but Gymshark is similar to Lululemon and like Alpha Lead and stuff like that. The size tag clearly was like shriveled up, but these did end up selling for 35 bucks because I was not accepting any offers, and I usually don't use stock images, but I just wanted to, you know, have the first picture looking more presentable than this one because I just figured this picture was kind of whack. But it ended up selling for 35 bucks, and I believe I spent about $4.99 for those. Next is this Fossil bag, and this was actually a gift for myself, but I don't need any more bags, so I ended up posting it on eBay and on PoshMark. I was asking a lot of money for this, but the first offer I got, I just took it because, like I said, it was free for me. So it ended up selling for about $175, so I was happy about that. And shipped it out, I think, the next day, and the actual buyer got them really fast in the mail for some reason. They wasn't even in California, but they got it really fast. So good looking out, UPS, I appreciate you. Next, this was from Pendleton, and this was a vintage Pendleton robe, and this ended up selling for full price. The buyer actually sent me a message, said it was a gift for their husband, and they really just wanted me to ship this out as soon as possible. But of course, I do one-day shipping, so I mean, they asked me to ship it out, but I was gonna ship it out regardless because I just try to, you know, provide that service. So these ended up selling for full price. I actually spent about 15 bucks for this because I was actually gonna keep this, but after thinking about it, I told myself, you know, you might as well just get this money and stop trying to hold on to stuff. So it sold within about 2 weeks. Maybe a little less than 2 weeks, maybe a week and a half. And moving right along is these Burton snowboarding pants. I believe these were in the same haul video actually. I'm not sure if it was haul 14 or 13, but I believe these were in the same haul video. But like I said before, I always pick up snowboarding pants, especially Burton snowboarding pants. These sold for $55. The person that got these, it was a lot of back and forth in the messaging. They were kind of confused. They asked me to cancel it, then they said they had the money, and then they asked me not to cancel it, and then they ended up paying. So I was just, you know, trying to be a little patient and a little understanding, and it ended up selling for 55 bucks plus shipping. And as you can see, the little signs of wear, no holes, but just some little pilling and some fraying. But those type of stuff, when it comes to snowboarding pants and jackets, people usually don't care about that because if it's used, it is going to have some minor signs of wear. And that's what I said right here, very minimal signs of wear. Next are these kind of old school in my opinion, but they're Tory Burch. So whoever picked these up, it probably was I don't know, maybe somebody that was young and into vintage, or it was an older woman. But these are, I thought they were dope. I like the patent leather and the, you know, the suede combo on there. And I picked these up for about 6 bucks. I got this from like a church yard sale. So these definitely wasn't in a thrift because all the thrift stores in my area, they know about Tory Burch. So they would have priced these maybe at 25 bucks. But the yard sale, they were just trying to get rid of stuff, so they priced it fairly for me. So these sold for $59.99. No, let me double check. Hold on really quick because I think I took a best offer on these. These actually sold for $49.99. I took $10 off. That was still a good deal for me because, like I said, I charged 12 bucks for shipping. It fit in a padded flat rate, so I made a couple bucks off the shipping. So I really took 5 bucks off, if you want to call it that. And the next piece is this Willis and Geiger bomber leather jacket. Now, when I put this in the whole video, I showed the amount of fraying and the tears on the sleeve. I took a bunch of photos of the stains so that the buyer knows that this is not in the greatest condition. But it is vintage and it is Willis and Geiger. And Willis and Geiger is just one of those things, just one of those brands that just holds its value like nothing else I've ever sold. So this one ended up selling for $130. And like I said, like you can see the sleeves, it's definitely a lot of tears, a lot of holes in there, some stains, but you know, $130 is very good money for me. I picked it up for about, I think it was $8.99. They priced it as a regular jacket, so I was definitely happy about this sale. And that's number 20, but I just wanted to throw in a bonus for you guys, especially for those of you that actually stuck around this long in the video. This was actually my best sale. I think it was my best sale so far, I'm not exactly sure. But this one sold for $180 plus shipping. And this is a Briony jacket, and I actually had this jacket in my haul video where I was talking about the best blazers to sell on eBay. And as you guys can see, $180, this is a very, very good price. You know, a lot of profit to be made when you're selling Briony, especially if it is made out of cashmere. So this was definitely I believe it was my highest sale of the month, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm definitely happy about this one. I picked it up for $7.99. Yeah, $7.99. That's the price of blazers in my area. So definitely a very good sale. Anytime you're taking pictures, you always want to make sure you take a picture of the inside of the blazer, just so that the buyer knows that there's no tears in the actual lining. Alright y'all, that's all I have for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, don't forget to drop a comment and ask any questions that you may have, because I'll always get back to you guys as soon as possible. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.